I don't but like, dude, it is so awkward to film yourself. I don't want to like not look at myself because I want to make sure that my camera's not slipping, but that's like such a like YouTubers always say that. Not that I'm a YouTuber, this is my first video. Okay, I'm just gonna look in the camera, I think, right? Like that's where I should look. Anyways, hi, my name is Shyla. I like books. And this is everything that I think you should read on quarantine, because we are in quarantine right now, are we not? Okay, first book. I'm making this the first book because it's the longest, and it's not just like, oh, it's 500 pages. No, it's about like 8 books in one. And I know that it's the first book. I know this is my first video, but can this, like, don't let this be a like definition to this channel, because I know this book is not good, but like it is, but it's not. It's it. But it's not it. Ha! No, it's it. But it by Stephen King. Do I like Stephen King? No. Should I tell you that Stephen King is like the best author ever? No, but he is a good author. I don't want to upset Stephen King stans, because he is good. It's just this book is just not the best. Like, if you love the movie, which, hello, I am an It fan. I love the movies. I love the cast. I love it. Then I would read this because it's just more of the characters that you love. So I would read it just for that. But otherwise, I don't know about her. She's okay. She is very gross, I would say, like, and not just in the way where she's gross just a little bit, like she's just like not dirty. She's just like creepy gross. She's gross, like there's a lot of slurs in it that like I didn't expect, I guess. But I mean, there's a lot of just disturbing parts that I don't think like needed to be in there. If you know anything about this book, I'm sure you know the one that I'm talking about. And there's also just like a lot of parts that just don't need to be in here. Like, this book is this big and it does not need to be this big. You could cut out maybe, I'm not even kidding, half of it and it would still be fine. It also jumps around from tenses and also point of views, so that's kind of confusing. It kind of gets a little annoying, but it also is kind of cool. Yeah, I think this would take up a lot of your time during quarantine if you want to suffer. Book number 2. This is my favorite book. This is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is the best book I have ever read in my entire life. If there is one thing you take from watching this channel, if you watch it, it is to read this book. It is so, so good. This is another book that's kind of long. It doesn't look it, but this is the hardcover version. So the pages are really thin. Like, the pages are super thin, and it's 771 pages, which I feel like you don't, like, it doesn't look like it is. But this is the best book, has the best characters, and it's like such a surprise because I didn't expect it to be as good as it is. I went into it like, no, yeah, well, I liked The Secret History. I like the way she writes. I'll read it. No, it is the best book I've ever read. The writing,
a motherfucking down.
Absolutely delicious. The characters, I inhaled them basically. The story is really good, but there is a story, but I would say it's more of like just about the main character's life and like what one decision does to the rest of his life, I guess. Or what one, not decision, because it's what one choice, or I guess choice, one event that changes the rest of his life. Yeah, this book is about Theo. He's 13. He is in an accident at a museum with his mom, and his mom dies. You learn that like first page, so that's not a spoiler. His mom dies, and it's just about his life after the accident of the museum and after his mom's death, and his relationship with a painting that he saw while he was at the museum with her, which is the lovely guy on the front. So yes, read this book. If you're not going to read it for what I just said, you should at least read it for the Russian king, well, Slavic king, Boris. Thank you. Okay, next book. I'm sure everybody knows this book. It's Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is another one of my favorite books, and it goes by really fast because the writing is really good and the characters are really real. Setting is really real. It's like super suburbia setting. It's in Shaker Heights, Ohio, which is a real place, which doesn't sound like it is, but it is. This is, I will read you the dust jacket. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Okay, it's actually kind of long. I won't read it, but it's basically about a family. It's also a series on Hulu, and it's really good. It has Reese Witherspoon in it, and she produced it because she actually loved this book. This is about, how do I describe this book? Two mothers, two families. One is the Richardsons. They live in Shaker Heights. They're Shaker Heights originals. And the mom, Elena, meets another mom named Mia Warren, who is an artist. She's like really eccentric, and she has a daughter named Pearl. And she Elena Richardson rents out their guest house to Mia and Pearl. And in the midst of this, there's like a custody battle that drives the two families apart. And it's just about these two families and how different they are and how similar the kids are still. I'm not good at describing, all right? It's just good. You should read it. The next one that I have, I'm looking at it and I don't know why I put it on here, but I mean, it's Harry Potter. I don't want to say that I'm a Potterhead because I hate J.K. Rowling passionately. She actually has me blocked on 2 Twitter accounts. We'll tell that story. I mean, it's a short story. I yelled at her and she blocked me twice. But, yeah, F that bitch. But she did write Harry Potter, and regardless of its issues and how many problems it has, even in the book, like not just her being an annoying ass bitch, it's still like, it's like a childhood thing. And look at this cover. Like, this is a good ass cover. Am I right? Ladies, do you agree? The back. So I think during quarantine, I will reread Harry Potter just because, I don't know, it's an experience and I have fun when I read them. It's gonna be hard though, now that J.K. Rowling has like admittedly come out as transphobic, so I don't know that I'll be able to enjoy it the same, but this is on here tentatively. Next book, it's A Secret History. I should have put this before The Goldfinch, but I got so excited about The Goldfinch that I just snatched it and started talking about it. Secret History is the first Tart book that I read, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I did love it. I mean, anyone who's read this book, you know that this is you will have a complicated relationship with this book. It is so good, but it's also terrible, but it's also amazing, but it's also so boring. I don't know. It is one of the weirdest books I've read just because I didn't expect to hate every single character in this book. You will hate every single character. There's no character you will like. If you like any of these characters, I'm scared of you. But still, like, even though, okay, I should describe what this book is about. This book is about classics majors, a group of classics majors who study under one teacher. So it's very culty in that way, kinda. I mean, yeah. And they're all insane and terrible people. And one of them is kind of a little bit extra terrible, I would say. I mean, he's racist and homophobic, so yeah. And he dies. They kill him. And you learn this, again, first page. That's what happens. And you just figure out, like, why, what happens, all this stuff. So it's hard because, yes, you want the character that is killed, like, you're not mad about it because every single person in this book is bad, so it doesn't, Like, had it been any other character, I would have been like, even the, you know, like even the main character, I would have been like, eh. But you still like somehow root for them to not get caught. I don't know. It's very strange. Read it. Next book, another one that's disturbing and I probably shouldn't be recommending. It's Flowers in the Attic by PC Andrews. This is like the 70s Twilight, as my mom would put it, or the 60s Twilight. I don't know, one of them. And I don't know why it's, I guess I can see why she would say that, but it's not a love story. I mean, it kind of is, but I don't want to say that. Basically, these kids, well, this family, there's a mom, her name is Corinne, a daughter, Kathy, a son, Chris, and twins, Carrie, right? Yeah, Carrie and Corey. And a dad. Dad's name is also Chris. One day, they're like a perfect family. They're like blonde, whatever. One day, the dad gets in like an accident and the mom has no choice. They have no money, like she doesn't work, so they have no choice but to go back to her parents' house. And her parents have disowned her, or her dad has at least, for a reason she won't say to her kids. And it's not until later that they figure out what it was that made her be disowned. And because she's disowned, she has to lie and say she doesn't have kids and say that her husband just died. She has to live with her parents back again and work her way back into being reclaimed by her father. So she has to hide the kids in the attic, which brings us to the title, Flowers in the Attic. So she has to hide the kids in the attic, which is interesting because the attic is like big, and it's in the movie that I watched the movie for this before I read this book, and the movie has them in an attic. I mean, either way, it's not good to be stuck in an attic for kids, but it's just like a lot different than the movie that I watched, because the movie, like, the attic was like this big, and in this it's like huge, and it's like a mansion because they're rich. But so they have to hide in the attic because her father doesn't know that she has kids, and she's trying to get back in his good graces, and to do that, she can't tell that she's had kids with her husband that is dead. Yeah. Can you tell by this beautiful cover what this book is? Maybe now? No? It's the Song of Achilles. I think everybody knows what this book is. If you don't, what? This is one of my favorite books of all time. Just read it. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. Just pick up the book, buy it. Don't buy it from Amazon. Thank you. But buy it. You will not regret it. It is the best book. One of the best books. Thank you. Next book. Last book. This is one of my favorites on this list for quarantine. This is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim, because it's like a courtroom drama book. So if you're looking for some, like, a book with tea, or just like if you're like hungry for like drama, this is the book. Like, this is like true crime drama, courtroom Judge Judy kind of thing, but not corny. Like, it's so good. The writing is so good. You care about the characters somehow, even though I feel like in another book, had it not been written as well as this one, like, they would have just been like disposable. You wouldn't care about them. But this one, it's like, all right, I see it. I like you. This is, I'm terrible at describing books. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So this is about a doctor. He has a treatment called Miracle Submarine, which is, I don't know the correct term. It's like a pressurized, it's like an oxygen chamber, and they go underneath. It's like they're submerged kind of thing. It's like it's deep. They call them dives in the book, and they call it Miracle Submarine. Hello?
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
And while he's doing one of these dives with a bunch of his patients, because he has a bunch of them, 2 of them die. One of them is an autistic kid, and then one of them is a mother of another autistic kid. So the mother of the autistic kid that died is found for murder, and they think that she murdered her kid, basically. Like, she pointedly killed her kid in this explosion that happens when this doctor is performing a miracle dive for them. Can you see why I don't really describe books? I'm just not good. So, in short, you should read this. It's really good. It's also it's pretty moving, I would say. Like, I remember crying at one point. I don't think there are any trigger warnings. I would just say that it's a little sensitive of a topic, I guess. At some points. Other points, it's just a lot of tea, and it's just really good. You should read it. Okay, those are my quarantine book recommendations. By the way, my name is Shyla. Why is my voice like dying out right now? I don't know. This is the longest I've talked in a while on quarantine. Okay, yeah. The amount of times I probably said like legit, literally. I'm sorry, all right? Okay, bye. Thank you for watching.